Hey guys, off the mic sports network here. Let's talk Dallas Mavericks here for a second. I've had a couple of videos with the initial speculation and then obviously the breaking news from earlier on Tuesday that Kyrie Irving is out for the season with a torn ACL. And this is obviously unfortunate. I've had a love-hate relationship with Kyrie Irving throughout my basketball watching life. Obviously, being with the Cleveland Cavaliers, him hitting the winning shot to win the championship in 2016. Obviously, leaving Cleveland was not pretty. Had a lot of just personal things going on. He's able to rebuild his image somewhat and become really like a face of the Dallas Mavericks and almost help them win a championship. And now he is the poster child for one of the biggest collapses and one of the quickest collapses in modern sports history. Um, I have not seen an organization fall apart from one decision quite like this in my life. I've never seen this outside of Deshaun Watson, but that happened over a 3-year period. What has happened in front of your eyes, and I understand that there is still time to fix this with Dallas and the Mavericks organization to try and fix this. But they ain't fixing it this year. The Mavs' best interest is to try and tank and get Cooper Flag, which means 1 year off of this 2-3 year window that you shrunk down because you traded away maybe the best 25-year-old player the league has ever seen, 5-time All NBA player Luka Doncic, and you just give him away for nothing. And then it leads to the trickle-down effect of, hey, the guy you got for him, Anthony Davis, he got hurt. The other bigs on the team, they got hurt. And then Kyrie Irving playing more minutes than he normally has because they have to play him into the ground because their depth is shot. He plays almost 40 minutes a night. So, of course, is a guy who's been notoriously brittle throughout his career, of course, and especially with all these injuries that have been happening with the Mavericks, of course he's going to get hurt. Of course he's going to get hurt. So, this is one of the most catastrophic moves in the history of the NBA. I'm not going to say in sports because, again, I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't include the Deshaun Watson trade with the Cleveland Browns. But in one move in the span of 30 days, the Dallas Mavericks went from a championship contending team to going into the lottery and having to be desperate to get Cooper Flag. If you would have said that before the start of the season, that the Dallas Mavericks would not have Luka Doncic and they would be considering trying to actively try to lose games to go get the top pick in Cooper Flag, I would have told you were nuts. This team 9 months ago was in the NBA Finals, and they beat the Boston Celtics one game in that series. It went 5 games. Boston was clearly the better team. But Luka Doncic was one of the singular big reasons why this team was held together. And I don't know what the personal vendetta was. I don't know what it was, what was leading to anything and why, ownership didn't like him. If it was Nico Harrison, what the circumstances of the trade, how it was played out with Rob Pelinka. There's been a lot of conjecture in the last month about what happened. But seeing them on the court side by side and seeing how good the Lakers have been since that point and how, bad luck to bad. I mean, the Mavs haven't really been bad. They've just had horrendous luck. But a lot of this is a trickle-down effect from making that trade. Kyrie Irving doesn't have to play all those minutes. Obviously, the other injuries were out of their control. But Anthony Davis, who you brought in specifically, he gets hurt. Kyrie Irving's having to play all of these minutes and really carry this team. He was having a really great season. And now he's hurt. ACL injuries, contrary to popular belief, yes, there is modern science that's better. ACL injuries are not easy to come back from, especially when you are older and you are a basketball player that relies a lot on your knees and your legs. So Kendrick Perkins, if you think that this is like they're just going to be fine, fuck that. They're not going to be fine. Like, they may be able to contend and be able to be in the mix. I don't see this team winning a championship. Damn sure not this year. And Oklahoma City is going to keep getting better. I mean, Denver's not going away. Memphis is a young team that's on the rise. Like San Antonio, if Victor Wembanyama can come back, they've got a bunch of young dudes on their team. Like Golden State, even though they're getting older, Golden State still wins games. The Lakers aren't going to go anywhere. With LeBron playing at this level with Luka, this is not just that it was such a baffling trade, but what you've seen before your eyes is almost like karma acting on behalf of the world And all of Mavs fans basically telling everyone in that ownership group and, everybody, including Nico Harrison in that front office who signed off on this, you fucked up. You fucked up bad. And you're lucky that other trades, like the Herschel Walker trade or like, the whole Deshaun Watson thing exist. But this is bad. It's the worst trade in NBA history. And I'm ready to say that 30 days in, because this is almost like all of these injuries that have happened almost in the immediate aftermath. It's almost like a sign from the universe telling everybody and shaking their heads, stop trying to convince us that this is actually a good thing. It's not. Okay. This was not a good thing. They picked it a good thing just because, hey, they didn't like the guy. And in that respect, it's like, come on. This is about winning titles. This is about making money. And Luka Doncic was the biggest representation of, a global phenomenon. Global. Multiple generations were rooting for that guy in Dallas. And now he's in LA, which, hey, I don't have a problem with that. I actually think it's good for Hollywood. I just hate it for Mavs fans because this organization and their general manager, Nico Harrison, completely failed them. And a lot of people think maybe I'm jumping to conclusions too quickly. Guys, what more do you need to see? Everybody on that team is injured. Kyrie Irving, at the earliest, on the front end of an ambitious timeline, is 9 to 12 months. If you crunch the numbers there, he's not getting back until Christmas or around Christmas time next year. And then you've got to ramp up and get into shape and all this other stuff. Like, they're not winning this year. Next year looks like a coin flip. If Anthony Davis can stay healthy, we'll see, and we'll see if they can build their team. But guys, this is the worst trade in NBA history. It's going to take a lot to get me to change my mind after only seeing a month of this, because Luka looks like he has seamlessly fit in LA. He almost may tack on a couple extra years to LeBron's career because LeBron looks as fresh as he ever has at the end of games, which has always been a problem. And, meanwhile, the Mavs are just dropping like flies. So unless they tank actively and somehow get the number one pick, there are some other good players, but the guy you want in this draft is Cooper Flagg, because that is a franchise-changing type deal. I mean, Dylan Harper, Ace Baldwin, like these guys, there's these guys from Rutgers. There's some good players in this draft, much better than last year's draft. Like, this is the draft you want to tank for. But Cooper Flagg is the Victor Wembanyama and the prodigy and like the prohibitive number one pick in this draft. There's rumors that he might stay. I don't believe them. But yeah, that really is the only thing that I think can, kind of save this a little bit, because at least you can get something out of this and as a nice consolation prize, and you get a young player to potentially start this whole thing over with. And then, hey, you're lucky. But here's the other thing about in saying that wasn't the plan. That was not the plan. The plan was to go at this with Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis. That was the plan. They didn't get extra picks. They wanted to do this way, which is insane to think about, because that is not good business. You gave away a guy who was as good as anybody at his age since LeBron, probably. Like, that's how crazy this is. So, anyway, I've spent a lot of time on this because it just keeps coming up. It's just like hitting you over the head, like with so many different things. It's like, you're never able to get back up and answer the 10 count or something. It's just like, stay down. It's like, it's almost like just like they're telling you, stop trying to convince yourself that this was a good trade. So, anyway, thanks so much for watching. A lot more coming here on the channel. I appreciate the love and support. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.